Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship linked to the cast. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, and to boldly go where no man has gone before. Pompous introductions out of the way. This is Dave Ryan from Link to the Cast. Welcome to FriDave Plays, my weekly solo play series where I do an hour of whatever it is the hell that is interesting me at the moment. The topical game of the week, the one I cannot stop playing, and pretty much all my productivity yesterday was completely destroyed by No Man's Sky. So, an update as to where I am relative to our LTTC plays that went up on Wednesday when the game launched. I've had to restart the game again. I did a goof and I cashed in my pre-order on the pre-order bonus ship because it kind of looks like an R-Wing and I really wanted that, but I did it before I finished the tutorial. And that kind of makes you skip the bit of the tutorial where it teaches you how to build a hyperdrive to leave the galaxy, which is very important because what ended up happening then was I didn't realise that. I traded in the ship I then got had no hyperdrive, and without the ability to craft a hyperdrive, I ended up stranded, basically. Welcome to Keith Broney there in the chat. Glad I could be here to distract you when you should be doing your thesis, mate, but feel free to stick around. I'm only going to be here for about an hour, so you can consider this your lunch break if you like. Okay, so this is my new cool ship. I thought this was weird and fucked up. I saw this at a space station and said to myself, I'll have a bit of that, and traded it in. The standard ship I started with. This has a few more inventory slots and it just looks real super weird sci-fi. So let's get in. Okay. So now at the moment, let's just remind myself of where I am. So I have 19 slots in my starship inventory. I have 21 slots in my exosuit inventory. I've been going around, last night the thing I was doing, I was prioritizing going around and finding drop pods which appear on planets, and basically you're able to get upgrades for your exosuit in terms of inventory slot spaces, which are very, very, very important. Inventory management plays quite a role in this game, but not in a way that has bothered me thus far. Fingers crossed it won't do so in the future. But hell, right, so there's a drop pod off here. You can see that red shelter thing that's kind of moving around there. That is that indicates either a shelter or a drop pod. In this case it is a drop pod. One thing that I don't think I mentioned on the stream with Mark, because we didn't do a lot of it, or really much at all, I can't even remember if we did take off. No, I think we did. Is that flying on this game is actually really, really easy. It feels great. It's not overly complicated. Now, I know some people who like enjoy playing flight simulators and stuff. They kind of, they would prefer if it had been a bit more complex. But for me, sorry, I'm still getting over my cold. For me, this is the perfect kind of like it's not too stressful. The flight aspect of it all. Fascination bead, that's something I can trade in at a space station. So yeah, I'm a few hours into this. I've basically, I managed to restart the game and make enough progress yesterday because I landed on quite a resource, or I started on quite a resource-rich planet again. And I spent a lot of time yesterday mining away, so I got a lot of money because there was a lot of gold and a couple of rare elements on the planet I started on, which I named Genesis. And I was able to... look, I'll talk about it when the time comes. I'm going to give you a bit of a tour of the galaxy. I think on this stream today, I'm going to finally leave this galaxy. That's my goal for today, if I can... Right, so now I've got myself another inventory slot. Every time you find one of these and it offers you an inventory slot, it seems that the price of the additional inventory slot goes up by 10,000 units. So this is my, obviously, so that was, the first one is free, so this must be my 10th one then. that I've gotten. So I've added 10 slots. Now, the one thing I'm really looking for, and I think it must be like in once you start making jumps and get to more complex galaxies, I think it's a case of it's going further deeper into the game before I can get what I really want, and that's exosuit upgrades that make me more resistant to adverse weather conditions and make me basically have to refuel the suit less, because that's kind of an element of the game that, you know, I'm fine with, but at the same time, sorry, I'm just after remembering there was a little beacon here, something that I didn't show on the stream the first day, that's actually proven to be quite convenient. Landing is like the easiest thing in the world. I just hit square and the thing figures out where it's easiest to land. Now, the odd time I've landed on top of a boulder or a tree or anything like that, but I've never encountered a situation where I can't get back to my ship. There's always a way. There's always a way in this game. So this planet, I've called it... I figured that when you name things in sci-fi, you gotta go as pompous as possible. So I named them after the first 3 books in the Bible, because I figure that's something like douchey space explorers would do. Something I hadn't noticed in the early hour or 2 of the game when we did it the last time is this over here. So this keeps track of the waypoints you've discovered, the flora and fauna you discover, and here seem to be the records of like the unique species to this planet, and if you can find all of them and then hit this button here, you see that bonus 225,000 units. So something I'm going to try for a couple of minutes during this stream, or maybe after the stream, is to see if I can get the final couple of species there, get 225,000 units, because then I've already successfully done that on the planet Genesis where I started, and the third planet doesn't actually have... Hold on, I'm going to charge this while I'm at it. It doesn't actually have any animals on it at all, so there's no point in me doing that. So then I will have pretty much, if I can complete the last 2 animals here on this planet, then I will have done pretty much anything I can do in this galaxy, and then it will be absolutely time for me to go. I upgraded my weapon as well to this cool, almost Borderlands 2 looking thing, because it has more slots and came with a bunch of upgrades as standard on it, which is handy. Now what I want to do is now I'd seen these things at different outposts and stuff, and I didn't really realise what I was supposed to do with them. So it says you require a bypass chip, and I didn't know what that is. As it turns out, I'm about to craft bypass chips using plutonium and carbon, which I have lots of. So once you use the bypass chip on them, it'll do this sort of a thing. So basically excuse me, you get it to scan the area for this sort of stuff. So a transmission could be like a crashed ship or a sentient life form. A shelter could be a drop pod, or it could be an actual shelter where, you know, there's an alien life. A colonial outpost will usually be somewhere like an observatory or something like that, where you might have to fight some sentinels, break down a door, go in, solve a puzzle, and get some cool diagrams out of it. And then a monolith helps you understand the language of the species. So we'll go to a monolith because I think it's the most sci-fi thing of all of it. Alright, alien artifact detected. Let's go there. So one of the things I do appreciate is that the ETA thing that's always put there, so you start walking in the direction of something and it will tell you what your estimated time of arrival based on your current speed is. Okay, where's my ship? It's down here, isn't it? Yeah. I find that now that I've found the now that I've got the ship moving, it makes traversing the actual planet much easier, because I can, hold on, I'll just claim this save point. Now I'm able to just like get the ship, head towards the destination rather than walk it and be worried about like having to walk all the way back. Also, some stations, when you arrive at them, if they're like docking stations or shelters, will offer you the opportunity to hail your ship, so it'll make your ship arrive at the destination for you. You don't have to go back and get it. But generally speaking, I tend to just fly everywhere. Where is that alien artifact? Nope, it's not that one. This planet, there's a lot of water involved on this planet. That's why there's a lot of these destinations you can see here that I haven't explored. That's why they're still on the screen. But I haven't gone to them, and the main reason for that is because I've gone to the area they're in and they're underwater. And so far, every time I've tried to explore something underwater with my very rudimentary life support system, I have nearly died. Because I go down, I found an abandoned building underground. Where's this black? Oh, it's up there. For feck's sake. Yeah, I went down. There was an abandoned building that looked like it had been a colonial outpost, and I went into it. And by the time I got down there and got into the room where all the sweet swag was, I drowned. Well, nearly drowned, but my shield was down, so I had to start running away very quickly. Oh, we're going towards the wrong waypoint. I'm a stupid man. Oh, there it is. Alright, so there's a monolith up there. Okay, so this cool looking yoke is a monolith. Interact with this boulder. And they'll tell you a bit of lore and usually help you learn the language a little bit. Her foresaw the weakness of the Viking warrior kind. The stars sent to our noble race, blocked by the weak-minded sentinels. So the race in this galaxy, they're not fans of those sentinels that guard the natural resources on the planet. They seem to have... the Vikings certainly want you to get rid of them. Based on all the lore I found so far. They want the universe rid of the sentinels. Excuse me. Alright, top up that life support. It gets a little bit like sometimes it can be quite annoying to having to top up the life support constantly, but honestly at this point it's second nature. And on most planets the resources that you can use to... Whoops, that was not a graceful landing. The resources you can use to top up your fuel or your exosuit are generally quite plentiful. Generally. Alright, so this we didn't really get to see that much of. This is space. Now, there are a couple of things that are hard to well, not hard to find, but can be a bit tricky to find, like Thamium-9, which is used to help fuel your ship. Pretty much most asteroids I've encountered are made of this stuff, so anytime you go into space, just get in the habit of blasting a few of these bad boys to top up your supply. And make sure, by the way, before you go and do this, that like one of your inventory slots on your ship is full, because it won't automatically go into your exosuit. It will try to go into the ship. So Genesis is where I started. I'm going to pick a random point of land to land back on. Okay, I want to find a big bit of land. Another tip I got was like to make traversing a planet much easier. You just go up into near planet orbit. You can traverse much quicker. This I will say, even though, like I said, the resources on the planet I started on were quite plentiful, the one thing that I didn't look out on... Oh, hello. That was a chance finding. One thing I didn't count on was that it had acid rain on it, and was just generally quite radioactive. So I found a ruin. handy. So these things that I'm interacting with now are called knowledge stones. Basically, each one of those will teach you a word in the language of the people that are from the star system you're in. So I'm picking up knowledge of the Viking. I'm doing quite well for myself with knowledge of the Viking. Okay, so you see, because I've decoded, right, so this would normally appear in what to me would be all gibberish, because it's the Viking language. But because I've gone around to loads of knowledge stones, and I've talked to a few aliens, and they've taught me a word or two, I can see what... like, fragments of what they're saying to me. So it seems like, obviously I know the word isotope now, so it seems that to appease, you usually have to make an offering, or, like, solve some sort of puzzle to get the reward from these things. So it seems like it wants an isotope. Hey! Oh, there's some creatures up there. I think I've discovered them already, but let's go have a look. Just to show you guys. So you see there's some texture fades there that happen, and I kind of like, it was troubling me at first. It was kind of just a little bit annoying to me, but at the same time I've kind of come to terms with the fact that, like, this is such a big universe and it is still very early in the game, that I'm kind of like, for the amount of fun I'm having, it's a real kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of splitting hairs or being real pedantic about it if I'm saying that, like, oh, this one tiny thing, you know, like, Jesus, it's harder to count the games that don't in this day and age start off with some sort of, like, texture popping situation. So, like, one of the paths you can pursue on this game, I've already discovered it, one of the paths you can pursue on this game is to just, like, be the guy who checks out all the animals and stuff. Because you can earn quite a bit of money from doing it. Like I said, if I can discover everything that's native to this planet, I get 225,000 units, which would nearly be enough to buy another ship. Like, obviously you can't have more than one ship at a time, but you know what I mean, it'd be get me a good part of the way towards getting a ship upgrade. So that if you want to play your game, like, you go between every planet and you're just like Attenborough and you're going looking at all the nature, you can do that. You're more than willing to do that. You could also go around like a big space pirate. You saw when we went into space there that there were some freighters and the like. You could always go to the freighters and you could try and blast them, or you could try and blast into research facilities and get diagrams. Take out as many sentinels as possible, because if you blow up sentinels, they drop rare items. There's and I think it is part of why, like, some people, not all, but some, are kind of not big fans of the game. Oh, is that something I haven't seen before? Not big fans of the game, because, like, sometimes people do, and I can totally understand it, because in some games I am like that, will prefer to know what they're supposed to do. Ah, crap. Nope. Nope. Okay, this is going poorly, lads. Come on. Okay. That was kind of stupid of me. Right, where's my ship? Let's get away. Yeah, so some animals are just hostile, and by scanning them you can get a little bit of a profile as to whether they're like a carnivore or whether they're hostile, and you'll see that kind of paw print will appear if they would be an animal that will attack you if they notice you. Okay, now that we're back in kind of safer environs. Okay, so I've only got one creature left to find in this world. So yeah, if it's all the same to all you guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Brony, if you're still hanging out there and haven't pretended to go back to your thesis yet, is there any sort of feature or anything you wanted me to have a look at? Or anybody else that's sitting in the chat at the moment, there's a couple of people online. If there's anything you want me to show you that doesn't involve me leaving the galaxy quite yet, I would be more than willing to show you while I'm on the hunt for the final animal. I have a feeling I saw these things flying around and they kind of look similar to something that was on my starting planet, so I don't know if they'll count for what I'm looking for. But I'm going to keep an eye to the skies while I'm going along here, that's for sure. But yeah, if anybody can think of something that they've heard the game can do, or if they're curious about, just throw it into the chat there, and I will have a look. But if you're happy just to sit back, relax, those things are generally friendly, thank Christ. I found these things as well that kind of... Oh! Is there something down there? I saw these things kind of like weird flying lizard gorilla things. I could swear. You see, because sometimes like your scanner will just analyze a plant, and that doesn't seem to count towards the native species of things it needs you to find. So that would kind of be useless to me. I'll get a couple of credits for it, yeah. But in terms of getting that sick cash, that will then kind of allow me to feel like I've done everything here that I need to. That's the thing I just discovered. See, there'll be parts of a planet that will have like a fair bit of plant or animal life, and then there will be parts that just don't have any at all. So it's handy just to be able to, if I see like a bunch of animals, I kind of just stick around the area for a while until I'm sure I've seen everything. There's one of the sentinels there, if you didn't see them before on our other stream. They basically, if they're hanging out, don't kill anything, and if they start scanning you, stop what you're doing, because whatever it is you're doing, they don't like. Sometimes if there's a resource that isn't very plentiful on the planet and you start mining lots of it, the sentinel will come and it will start scanning you. If you just stop what you're doing, it will leave. It will just scan you, see that you're not doing anything anymore, and then just, you know, leave you in peace. A sip of water for the working man. I don't think anything is popping up here, guys. At least animal-wise, anyway. I genuinely, because I was worried about doing my Attenborough job here. I'm going to go down to the water, because there are fish underwater, but swimming is quite difficult, like staying, because I don't have many upgrades to my oxygen tank, or any, actually. It's just the basic oxygen tank, whatever you start with. So it's hard to stay underwater for prolonged periods of time, but I will endeavour to do so. Just because if I can, if it is a fish that I need to find, then we can all just get moving. Don't be as aggressive as you want, mate. I'm going for a swim. So you'll see here, as soon as I go underwater, my oxygen meter starts running, and it's running pretty quick. Okay, so I've discovered all these guys. That the green dots above their heads means I've discovered them before. So the way to kind of get up and down from the water kind of quickly is to use your jetpack, hold down X, and it kind of shoots you up and it drops you down quite dramatically. It allows you to dive easier as well. There's something down here anyway. I believe it's a building. Usually if it's a, you'll see the question mark, and usually like it's a building or a drop pod or something like that, but if it's a building with 3 isotopes in it. Yeah, here we go. So, this will kind of show you what it's like exploring a building underwater. Now this was quite shallow. Whoa. Those things will attack you. Gotta keep an eye out. All the while, like, as kind of as fascinating as it can be to kind of explore these places underwater, the one I found the first time was fairly sprawling, and I got a bit excited and wasn't paying attention to my oxygen level. I didn't leave myself enough time to get back to the surface, which can be a worry. So let's get back up. This is like, whereas I would say it is tough, especially in the opening hours of the game, to die, unless you have the poor luck of somehow not being smart about keeping like a base level of all the important elements on you, so that you, because of that, you end up stranded and without fuel on an arid planet. It is quite difficult to die. Like I said, the only time I've properly died so far, I said on Twitter the other day, is I got involved, I think in the first game I was kind of just, I'll follow the path towards the core of the galaxy until I feel like starting my new game, just to see what it's like. And as I got more galaxies in, I think I got through 3 jumps. So the closer I got to the centre of the galaxy, the more hostile planets got and the more extreme conditions got. And I flew accidentally into hostile subspace and got involved in a dogfight with 2 things that kind of look like TIE fighters from Star Wars, and it blew me up good and proper, because I'd been so obsessed with exploring, I hadn't really upgraded my ship's lasers or anything to that point. I was kind of, I don't know why, but for some reason I didn't think to myself that I would be likely to be attacked by the AI. The one thing that was, well, I'll say the one thing. There are many things fascinating about this game, but the fascinating thing about dogfighting in space, one, it feels great. It feels cool to do that, and Star Wars Battlefront can suck a dick by comparison. But the one thing that's great about it, and I don't know if it's a deliberate thing, but the AI of the 2 ships that attacked me moved in kind of opposite paths to one another. And what I mean by that is they moved in such patterns that, like, they'd both be firing at me, and if I started pursuing, say, ship A and trying to shoot that out of the sky, ship B would be moving in a pattern that if I was facing ship A, ship B would almost always be behind me, so I was always prone. So, like, there's kind of, like, I'm not trying to credit Hello Games with stuff if this wasn't intentional. Whoa. See, that's what happens with those carbon dealies. But yeah, sometimes it seemed as if, like, there's evidence of planning from the AI there to make sure that, like, the numbers game came into effect. So let's head back towards my ship here. I don't think in this part, I think I've gotten lucky enough with finding that one animal anyway. So let's go back to the ship for now. I don't think I went to a space station before, so let's go to a space station. always come back here. This might be the last chance I get to do a significant bit of play on this for the next 4 or 5 days. Flying off to Manchester in the morning, going to see a Progress Wrestling show for the first time. Looking forward to that. Mark will be heading with me as well, so there won't be much from us over the weekend. We will be posting an episode of Link to the Cast later on today. Supposed to be posted yesterday, but Mark kind of he was supposed to leave me we recorded it yesterday morning, and he was leaving me the thing to edit when he went off gallivanting yesterday, and instead he put it on his own Google Drive, didn't share it, and then locked his laptop so I couldn't get into it to take the file on USB. So we weren't able to get it up at a reasonable hour yesterday. So as soon as I finish here, the plan is to go and get that sorted. Okay, so I'm in a the star system I started in is a very basic 3 planets, no moons, nothing like that. But I have seen systems that get more complex. I think I was in a system before I restarted the game. The last system I was in had 6 planets and 2 moons, I want to say. And the one thing I hadn't done was land on a moon. Excuse me. Right, so let's go to the space station. That symbol there denotes the space station. I don't know. I haven't been in a galaxy that has more than one of these, so I could be wrong. There could be, in some of the more complex star systems later on, there could be more. So, this pulse engine is a handy little invention. Helps me get places a bit quicker. So when you go to the space station, you want to find these blue holes on it. I made the mistake of assuming there'd be a gravitational pull on these things that would, like a tractor beam, that would pull me in if I got close to it. And the end result was I basically phase jumped into the side of the thing and bounced off it. And when there's no gravity, so there's no resistance on your ship, when you bounce, you spin quite a bit. Okay, so this is a basic space station. Every one I've been on so far kind of looks a bit similar. There's a door up there that seems to, based on scanning, they usually have, like, it seems like there's a bunch of resources behind some of them, but you need one of these Atlas passes that keep coming up on different canisters and things and in shelters to get in, and I don't know if they're disposable or not. I haven't really looked into it. All I know is that you find Atlas passes by following anomalies in space. I read on Reddit or somewhere. So this is one of your galactic trade networks. You can sell if you found some rare items. So the fascination bead, which I haven't found a crafting use for yet, I can sell, get a bit more money. These things as well. Let's see if there's anything in the starship inventory. Nope. Okay. Right. Hey, mate. So taking the upgrades from here. So that, yeah, that's kind of basically, like, with the except, like, with not being able to go in here because Atlas Pass version 3 required, and over opposite there's also an Atlas Pass required. So, like, there's more to these space stations, but what exactly I don't know, and I haven't gone into it to try and spoil it on myself, because I think some of the times I've been most pleased with this game and most kind of entertained is when I've seen a thing that I've seen no one talk about, or seen a thing like observatories and stuff, and the puzzles. I didn't know any of that was in the game, and it was like the coolest shit ever discovering it. So it's handy as well, as if you can't really remember what's going on a bunch of planets. So I'm just uploading all these to get some units. So you can scroll through your planets and have a look and see, well, what do you remember about it? It tells you the weather, the level of sentinels, flora and fauna. So I remember that Leviticus here is pretty barren. Doesn't flora and fauna devoid of none, so there's no real reason to ever go back there. But on Exodus, this is where I have my unfinished business. I have to find one thing that I'm now fairly convinced must be some sort of bird. So let's go to Exodus. Genesis. So I'm just going from beyond this fucking thing. So unless you're doing the really fast jump thing that I did on the way over here, you really shouldn't be crashing into asteroids. You can find things like emerald that you're seeing down there, this one, nickel, which are, I have so far found, and iridium, fairly difficult to find on the planets I've been on. That's probably thamium. Not too far away. Okay, let's try one more time here. And what I'll do then is, if I don't find this in a couple of minutes, I'll just show you the other two planets in this system, just to show you how kind of diverse things are. Oops. One thing I can't, it's taken me, I just can't get used to is during nighttime or on a planet that has a lot of water on it, it's hard for me to tell. I like to kind of fly around in between the atmo and the kind of, well, no, like below atmo, but like a good bit high off the ground, so I can kind of see everything. So it's kind of tough for me when I have to fly too close to the ground to spot points of interest. Some points of interest do you favours by having lights or beacons. Not all well, especially like the more you kind of explore a planet, you tend to hit the more obvious points of interest first, the ones you can easily spot, and you're left with the ones that are kind of hard to see. Hello. Oh, it's just a trade terminal, for fuck's sake. Might be interesting to buy, I wonder. I've never seen uranium before, but I also don't have anything that requires uranium for construction just yet. Let's find the spot anyway. One gripe I have with the game that I think should be mentioned at this point is that I have not discovered any sort of convenient way to navigate back to places I've already been, and by that I'm referring to both places on a planet, like, so if I've been out of stuff for my launch thruster. Right, gotta go plutonium shopping. Oh, and there's some right there. That was a lucky break. So you see, frequent use of your scanner will come in handy. Both for like analysing things to get a few credits like that, and just to use your scanner to show you where like isotopes and stuff are. So you get used to what the different symbols mean. The red ones, the lightning bolts, are isotopes. The kind of, see if there's any of the, oh, there's a pod. The yellow ones there are silicates, and then there's I think it's a blue one, is it, for neutral? Blue or green for neutral? Can't remember. Okay, so you'll see those pods dropped around. Those are usually things for your weapons, little upgrades. I don't know if it's a well-known thing in the game, or a well-advertised thing in the game before release. But it seems most of the animals, kind of, except fish, feck off at night. So I kind of need to wait for the day-night cycle to come around. And the day-night cycle as well, at least seems to. And I'm trying to go without guides or without tips or anything like that, unless I'm really and truly stuck. But it seems as if the day-night cycles are different on different planets. Which is a pretty cool little detail, because obviously, you know, with the way planets work, not all of them have the exact identical day and night cycle. That's the launch thrusters. There you go. Let's just fly around here and just have a look without leaving the planet until day breaks. I'll tell you one thing that's absolutely great about this game is that it is just the most relaxing. Like, unless you're going with an intent to break into like manufacturing facilities and stuff to get yourself some tech upgrades, like, generally speaking, it's a fairly relaxing, fairly chill experience, at least in these early star systems. You can get to ones that have like more difficult sentinels and more hostile animal life later on, but again, just landing on that planet will let you know straight away that that's what kind of planet it is. So if you have the fuel, you can just jump straight off it. Again, if you don't want to mess with that and you just want to do your nature work. Oh, hello. What do we have here? I believe that right there, my friends. Ah, it's ammo. Disappointing. On Genesis, my origin world, there are things those size and bigger that are gold. So there was a point early in this game, before I started exosuit upgrades and before I started like going in the market for this new ship and stuff, where I had over 1 million credits. And that was just from a couple hours work. Trying to find gold, and gold was fairly plentiful on there. I think this might be some sort of outpost. That's not what I saw. There we go. Okay, as you were. I think I'll make a wee bypass chip. I'll go have a look at something. First, I need to get into a better habit of mining it. Some plutonium. Oh, being sick is unpleasant. I always say a good tip as well is make sure there's always one slot in your exosuit free. You'll never know what or when, what for or when you'll need it. Let's have a look at a colonial outpost. That's what we haven't shown. Oh, I must have got all the ones on the spot. What a goddamn waste. There you live, you learn. Another one. Let's go for a transmission. See if this is a distress signal. Oh, also it's daytime now. So let's look for a couple of animals before I go anywhere. He said, as if he knew what the fuck he was doing. I think my strategy now is just to kind of fly around, keep low enough to the ground so that I can see an animal if it is there. Because areas that tend to have like some sort of animal life wandering around it, you'll find more before long, usually. This island looks pretty empty. Let's go over here. But at this point, like, this is just, like, I don't have to do any of what I'm doing now. But this little bit of grind, this, I say grind, because grind is usually stressful and boring, but when you're actually doing it, and I imagine it might be considerably more boring if you're just watching it passively. But, like, when you're just cruising around and looking at all the pretty things, it's quite relaxing. So a different word maybe than grind. like, I could jump to the next galaxy any minute now. I have the hyperdrive upgraded. Just all you have to do is break Atmo on this planet, hit down, and go to my galactic map, and off I'd be. This looks like a big ass green area. Screw it, let's have a look. He who dares wins. Okay. Oh yeah, so these are the weird nightmare creatures that I found yesterday. Look at that. Yeah. I'll get to that. Already uncovered you, mate. Already uncovered you. Now, where is your... I wonder, is there... Hold on. This is something I haven't checked before, but some games would do this. Oh, no, there's not. I was hoping maybe if I tapped it might give me like a Who's That Pokemon style silhouette. And I could go, well, that looks like something that flies. Or something that swims. Might be an idea for a future update, guys. Around here. It's the problem. The thing that will annoy me is that if they're normal flying things, they're not those flying monstrosities, right? So I had this on Genesis, my first planet. There were these kind of like things that look like giant dragonflies, and they were flying really high up in the air. And the problem was, my scanner from the ground, my scanner could not pick them up. So what I ended up having to do was to find somewhere that was near enough to them, but that also wasn't too perilous for me. I had to climb up on top of it and use my jetpack and then scan. I'm told since there's another way of doing it where you can just shoot the thing out of the sky and kill it dead and then scan it. Which I genuinely prefer not to do, because I genuinely don't like antagonizing the Sentinels, because they got kind of annoyed at me frequently. That's like a plant. What I really like about the game is like how diverse everybody's gameplay is going to be. So like you could, if you were watching this through PlayStation 4, you could hop over to another stream right now and someone might be having a much more exciting time than me, and they're in space and they're raiding freighters and they're, I don't know, shooting dudes out of the sky, left, right, and centre. That could be happening. Or you could be looking at a guy who's trying to do things a bit more with mine to mining. So they could be just like mining resources, selling resources, coming back to mine resources, sell resources again. Or you could have someone like me, who I'm trying to do a bit of everything. But, whoa! At the moment, I'm just kind of going through a phase of nature hunting, because it's so far in my playthrough the best guaranteed, I say guaranteed, the best way for me to get like a large lump of money straight away. There's a knowledge stone down there. I'll have that, thank you. Sometimes as well, if you have certain elements, animals will eat them, and if you go up and you feed the animals those elements, they will either crap out a rare element, or they'll lead you to something rare. Guys, have you seen anything around here that isn't E? Anyone? Anyone want to help a brother out here?
Life support power low.
Yeah. So I give this guy 20 iron, big smiley face there. Let's see what he goes and does for me. I don't think they'll lead you to animals. I don't think they're always guaranteed to lead you to or poop out something rare. Like this guy, apparently intent to do nothing for me. Thanks, mate. Really appreciate all your hard work there. Okay, we're getting towards that time where I, for the sake of having a remotely entertaining conclusion to this, I'm going to have to give up until I stop the stream. And I'll just go and show you guys the 2 other planets in the system. And then we'll call it a day, shall we? Okay, let's do that. The other option, of course, as well, like, so if I've exhausted all the fish and I've exhausted all the ground animals, the 2 remaining options are there are certain types of ones that fly high in the air, so I'll only be able to see them if I'm standing high or standing near a cliff face or something. And then the other option is if they're kind of cave dwelling, so I've seen like kind of crabby looking things that tend to live in the dark in caves. So, you know, that's another possibility. Showing out a carbon, unlucky for you, pal.
Life support power low.
One last scan around. Loads of items popping up. No undiscovered animals. Stupid flora.
Units received.
I mean, I'll take the units, but that's not what I want. I want the 225,000, goddammit. And obviously they're not going to make it easy on me. Right, before I forget.
Technology recharging.
Right, so let's show you the other planets in this system. Up and away!
Technology recharging.
Since it is 1 hour 10 minutes, so that's at standard speed. Boosts up to being less than 10 minutes away if I go with normal boost, but then if I do this, and I get there in 30 seconds. So, without me touching anything with the controller, it disengages the pulse engine when it detects you're in something's atmosphere. So, I've pretty much discovered everything in terms of animals here on Genesis. But this is like, you can see there's a lot less water, which is great. It's just as lush, if not more lush than the first one, which kind of made it easier to find animals, to be honest. So didn't have to go flying through lots and lots of water just to be hopeful and lucky enough to find somewhere that was very green. There was just lots of green everywhere. Lots of plutonium, lots of thamium, both of those are crucial for space flight. Oh, the other thing is your blasters have no effect on the natural resources on the planet. So if you think you can just get your ship pointed at a big thing of iron just to sort out your problems, not going to happen. So there's no point in moving really, unless I see something particularly fascinating. No point really landing here, this one, because the real, the only one that's remarkably different from the others, is the planet that I named Fiticus, which is the one behind indexes, because of course it is. So let's engage the pulse engine and just cut straight to the chase. It's like the more time goes on, the more I realise like this game, not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody's gonna like the hands-off, give yourself a project, decide which path you want, relaxing space exploration, and all that crap. So it's a real kind of, oh excuse me, it's a real kind of Marmite of a game, you know. You like it, or you love it, or you hate it. There's no real kind of middle ground, it seems. I think everyone should definitely give it a go. Like, you might only play it for 4 or 5 hours. You might waste an entire day, like I did yesterday, playing it. But to me it's an important game. If only for the amount we've been hearing about it for 3 years, and it's kind of finally here. Just Still a little bit tough to believe. Let's do a bit of course correction here. Whoa, I am off course. This is what I was thinking of. Hold on. I need to make absolutely sure before I go to it, because I will feel a proper idiot. Yeah, look at this. Ooh. I don't like my pulse engine. Give me it back. Thanks, mate. Correct. And let's finally make it there. Okay, the one thing you'll notice straight away when I get here, it is warm. It's fairly arid. Like the thing said when I looked at it very briefly earlier on and showed you, there is little to no plant life. There are no animals. All there are some rocks like iron and carbon and things, and there are a few outposts, like here for instance. I don't want to stay here too long. Bad memories. I got stranded here for quite a while yesterday. So you see up there, there's like carbon and stuff like that, and there's caves that have like iridium and stuff in it, but like in terms of like resources you need to get off the planet, those are rarer. Ooh. Yes! Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That is the first proper upgrade to like the support systems on my exosuit I have ever discovered. I am very happy right now. Now let me just have a look and see where we're at time-wise for the stream, because I think I might call it a day there. I don't think I'm gonna... Whoa! It's that carbon plant again whipping me. I keep forgetting to look for those. I do think it's cool and creepy, the like when these weird, like so far unexplained. I couldn't tell you what this stuff that clearly is taking over the station is. I know that it's not overtly toxic to me, like, 'cause I can walk up and it's not hurting me. It won't let me shoot it, which is interesting. Fucking, where is it? Well, I'm gonna definitely save this anyway. Right, so we're over the 1 hour mark now at this point. So I'm going to leave it at that. Well, I'm going to keep on playing the game myself after I go offline. But I'm going to leave the stream at that for now. So yeah, this is my progress in No Man's Sky. I'm going to check back in on FriDave Plays for the next few weeks. Do my weekly captain's log. See what I am up to. But, I'll almost certainly, I'll either out of frustration have given up, or I will have found that one more animal on the other planet by next week, or I'll have gone truly insane. So I'll be in a different galaxy, we'll see some different shit. It might be more aggressive, you never know. So, that could be gold. Yeah, okay, so before I distract myself and end up just silently mining gold for ages, for FriDave Plays and for Link to the Cast, I have been Dave Ryan. Thank you for joining me on this Friday evening. This is going straight up on our YouTube channel. After this, please check us out at Link to the Cast on Twitter, facebook.com/Link to the Cast. Subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to the podcast, which is coming out later today, on iTunes, all that good stuff. linktocast.wordpress.com is the website where you can kind of find pretty much everything from there. Do check us out. So anyway, for FriDave Plays this week, I'm going to go and do some gold prospecting, so enjoy yourselves, guys. TGIF.